Hi, in this video I will explain how to use media files in Holyrics. So media in Holyrics is done through this VLC player section of the interface, which you can collapse if you're not using media at all, or you can expand to improve your usage of the user interface. And as in a typical player, you have all the typical buttons that you would expect: the play button, the stop, you have the repeat buttons, you have the volume buttons, and some other features that I will go into more details right now. So the most basic way to start a media file in Holyrics is to come to this button right here, this little folder option, and go search for the file that you want to play. So for example, I have here some song or some general music files, and then I click on it and it will display here the name of the song. And once I hit play, you will see that this button will become green and the song will start playing in your computer, or if your computer is attached to your church sound system, it will also start playing on that too. And like I said, I can decrease the volume, I can play the song, I can go back to the beginning. I can also make the song that is currently playing repeat, or the entire playlist repeat. So the playlist, let's pause this. The playlist is this icon over here on the top. If you click on it, you will see the playlist right here with the song that we're just playing. Now there's a difference between adding a song in the playlist window and through this button right here. Notice what happens if I select another song, for example, One Life. It changed here, and when I go into my playlist, it completely erased the previous song that was playing. So if I keep changing the song through this button, I will always have only that as my playlist. So what do I do to add songs to my playlist? Well, one way is to include the files that you want through this button right here. So if I include these other two and open that, you will see that that's now appended to my playlist. And if I start playing this Never Sunny in Philadelphia and go to the next, it will go into my next song, and then so on and so forth. Here in this playlist window, we can also delete a song that we don't want in our playlist anymore, or clean the playlist of all songs. And when you clean all the items on your playlist, you only have this Holyrics on your playlist, which means there's nothing to play here. So this other icon, this global icon here, is to add links from the internet, and you can see right now that it is unable to use YouTube links, probably due to copyright problems. But if you have a video stored in your server somewhere, some local server of your church, you can input the link in here and it will fetch that. So lastly, these three dots right here, you can adjust some other settings of the player, such as shuffle all the songs on your playlist. You can include a fade in and fade out effect, and some other configurations as well. Other than songs, you can also play video files. I have, for example, this video file right here, and it works in the same way as for the songs. If I select another video file through this button, it will get rid of the ones of my playlist right now. So if I play the video file, it will start a presentation here on the top left, just like if I were presenting a lyrics of a song. So I'm just playing it, and you see here on the top left the video displaying. All right, so that's one way to play songs. The problem is that in this way you would have to select the songs that you want to play every time that you want to play it. So you might have also noticed here on the top left through all the previous videos that I've done that apart from lyrics, we have different tabs for audio, videos, and images, in which we can also include into our Holyrics and put into playlists for our services in order to organize which media will be played at each service, and also be easy to find them when the service arrives. So differently from the lyrics, in which we have, buttons to create new lyrics and we can fetch that into Holyrics, Audio, videos, and images are files coming from outside Holyrics, and the only way to add them into Holyrics is to put the files that you want into a folder that Holyrics is pre-configured to keep looking if you have any files in there. And if you do, it will retrieve that and show it right here. What I mean by that is, for example, if I click here, open the folder, you will see that it will take you to wherever you install your Holyrics and into the files folder, the media folder, and the audio folder. And there is another folder. If you go back to the media, you will see that there's a folder for the audio, a folder for image, and a folder for video. So whatever you put inside these three folders, Holyrics will display it to you right here. So I'm going to open another window right here, and I am going to go to my desktop where I have some media, for example, some audio files, and I'm going to copy that into the Holyrics audio file folder. And you see, when I put it in here, Holyrics starts to pick it up here. And also notice that it has the same name as the file was named in my folder. So if you want nice names inside Holyrics, you should name your files the way you want it to look. Same thing goes for images. I'm going to open my other folder here, copy it in here, and also videos. So now if I go into Holyrics and switch to the video tab, you'll see the two videos that I created, and also in the image tab, the several images that I copied into that folder. Also notice the very bad naming because I just downloaded from the internet, so I didn't worry about the names. But again, if you want nice names, you should name your files properly. You will notice that there is no rename option in Holyrics, because it's just scanning the file names inside the folder. So now that we have our audio, videos, and images files inside Holyrics, we can manage them much easier. If I want, for example, to play this song, I just double click it and it will start playing. If I want to add it into my playlist, notice that right now touch is playing. If I add to the playlist of the player and not the playlist of the service, you will see that apart from touch, it now has one life, and I can do the same for the Never Sunny in Philadelphia and keep adding them to my playlist right here. I can do the same thing with the videos. If I want to add this to my playlist, it will add it to the end of the playlist. Images, on the other hand, are somewhat different than audio and video. You'll notice that you cannot add it to a playlist, as it won't play as an audio file or a video file. If you want to display an image, you can, like the other files, double click it, and you will see that it will start a presentation somewhat similar to what we are used to when we are displaying lyrics in Holyrics. And then we can also select multiple files using either Shift or Control. And without leaving your Shift button or Control button pressed, we double clicking, and you will see that Holyrics will create a presentation with all your image files, in which you can go through the same way that we go through lyrics in Holyrics. Another thing you can do for images and also for audio and videos, but for images there is an added benefit of doing that, is that inside your images folder you can create another folder. Let's say image playlist. And inside this folder you can put the images that you want. And when you go here, you'll see that Holyrics will detect that. You can refresh, update the list if it doesn't get it. But you will see that Holyrics will detect that folder as a playlist or as a collection of images, which you can click on this plus icon to see the files that are inside that. Or if you just hover your mouse over the name of the playlist, you will also see the files in this window. Now, if you just double click the playlist, like before, it will create that presentation for you. But with the playlist, you have the added benefit of creating this custom automatic presentation. When you do that, you will be able to specify how many seconds you want in between images and if you want to repeat them after the last image is shown or not. So I'm gonna put 3 seconds to be very quick. Click enter, and you'll see that Holyrics will start displaying the images inside this playlist one after the other after 3 seconds. And once it gets to the last image, it will go back to the first one, and it will keep looping it forever until you tell it to. You can do this playlist following the same approach of creating a folder inside Holyrics folders for the video and the audio section of Holyrics as well. There is another way to create a playlist like this one for images, videos, and audios that doesn't require you to create a folder inside your Holyrics folder. You can come to these more options and create a shortcut, and in here you just need to select a folder in your computer. This folder can be anywhere, it doesn't need to be inside the Holyrics folder. So for example, this images Holyrics here is in my desktop. So if I select that and I can name it in here, you will see that it will have another folder, another playlist with all my images in here, and this is not in my Holyrics folder. To delete a playlist created like this, you can go back to the shortcuts icon, select it, and click remove. And to delete the one that you created inside the Holyrics folder, you just need to go into that folder and delete the folder. If you don't want to click on this button to figure out where the folder that you need to paste your images, videos, and audios is, you can also come to this more options, click on help, and in here on the very end, you will see that you can add a shortcut to these folders on your desktop by clicking here. And once you click it, it will say done. And if you go to your desktop, you will see a shortcut to that Holyrics library here. And once you click it, you will be on the Holyrics folder in which you have your audio, image, and video folders to put your files in. So another thing with media is that you can also specify which media is going to be played on each service, just like you specify which lyrics will be played in each service using your playlists that you specify when you created the event. So you will see that for an event, you have a schedule in which you have the people who will work on it. You will have the lyrics in which you can assign, like I said in the previous videos. And you can also assign the media that will be played in those services beforehand. But to do that, you just need to right click on the file that you want. And instead of adding to the playlist of the player, you just need to add to the playlist of the service or event that is currently selected here on the right. And you see that's going to be added to it. And you can keep doing this for all the files that you want. You can include the entire playlist as well if you want. You can even include lyrics as media if you want to. And to play that, once this service comes, you just double click it, we'll start playing it. Just like you would if for a lyric right here. So to finish this video off, I'm just gonna briefly talk about favorites, which you can see here on the top. If you select any file, audio, video, image, or lyrics, you will see that you have this option right here to add it to favorite, or if you can right click it and also have this option for lyrics as well, although the icon is not here. You can add to favorite, and once you do that, you can select its name, and this is only for showing purposes. It doesn't change anything on the file. It's just how it will look up right here. If there are any files that you use on a very frequent basis, you can add this to your favorite, and it will be very easy to find them on the top here. And you can see also where your good naming conventions for files would become handy in this case. If you add too many files right there on the favorite, you will notice that it will exceed this length of your screen. And once your mouse goes close to the edge, it will start scrolling. If you don't want that, you can come into the settings and adjustment and click on fit to screen, and you will add as many lines as needed to fit all your favorites in your screen. Or you can go back to what it was. So for my last tip that I'll give you in this video is for you to be very careful with changing the name of your files after you have added into any service or into your favorites. If you do that, Holyrics will update the name of the file in your list, but it will give you some errors if you try to play these songs later. So for example, I have this Leland video, which I will just edit the name, and I'll remove this P here. And you will see that Holyrics will pick that up. It remove the P, and if I double click it here, it will play just nicely. But I also put that into my favorites when it was still with the P in the name. And if I try to play that right now, you will see that it will give you an error, because when you put that into your favorites, it had this name, and now it's trying to find that file and it's not there anymore. Same thing would happen if you try to, I don't have it in this service, but I can do that by going back to 720p, updating that and adding to my worship, and then going back to here, removing the P, and try to play that. It will also give me the error. So be very careful with that. My advice would be to, every time that you put a file into your Holyrics folder, put that with the final name that you want. So for example, in this would be Leland Waymaker. And then don't change it afterwards, especially if you know that you have put that into your into some of your playlists in Holyrics. So that's it for this video. I hope this video helps you to use media with Holyrics, and I see you guys on the next video.